All right, family. Peace to the family out there in the world, in the virtual world. As Doc takes his tonics, maybe I should take one too.
Man, you better take something.
Yeah, maybe I should take one. I got the platinum. Maybe I should.
These days, you need to take everything. Platinum, focus.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? We gonna have. Oh man, when I tell y'all we gonna have a great show tonight, I really do, man. I know I say that every night, and I mean it every night. Tonight in particular, I mean that a lot. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. It's Friday night. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. About to get started. About to officially bring on my guest. As usual, before I do, make sure you hit that like button. That's very important to get the algorithm popping. Hitting the like button. And also, let me get to a commercial real quick. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna be back. We're gonna start the show. And we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna learn. It's gonna be wonderful. Everybody's gonna be enlightened. Everybody's spirit is gonna be excited. We're gonna have a great time. Be right back, family, in 1 minute. All right.
Started out with nothing. Now I got a whole lot of something. Breaking through the roof. Willy Wonka when he pressed the button. When I do a money ritual, all of a sudden money started coming. Then I cut the Holy Ghost. I still be rhyming even when I'm mumbling. You repeat my name 3 times while you staring in the mirror. Bottle will appear like poof. I came from out of thin air. To me the gun is like a magic wand. I make a problem disappear. I would knock a nigga tape out his mouth. What? Just to turn him to veneer. I can do magic. 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 When I open up my mouth, I can move masses. Black magic on the beat, turn it to a classic. I'ma take the money out the bank, then I'ma put it in a mattress. So me the niggas got.
All right. All right. So let's we about to get started. But before so let me introduce my brother. Man, met this brother last year, and it's just been on and popping since then, man. We got a mission to accomplish in this round, and we were destined to come across each other. Two music producers in this world, tapped into consciousness, different generations, same frequency. Dr. B Sirius, it's an honor to have you back on here, my brother.
It's an honor to be here once again.
Indeed, man. Hey, man, we made a lot of history in such a short amount of time together, my brother.
Well, that's because there is no time. See, it's just the illusion of time. And see, time, if you flip it backwards, you get emit. So it's not about time. It's about emitting. Emitting has to do with glowing, which has to do with doing and being. See, if you just got time on your hands, it's just sitting there holding you back. But when you start using time and erecting your life, correcting your life, using your life, and being in your life right now, it flips backwards. And now you got emit. Now you glow. You're like the lighthouse. They don't have to turn you on. You on.
He started early, y'all. He started super. Come on, Dr. B. It's too early for that, man. Give him a little introduction before you go in like that, Doc. Give him a little introduction, man.
What type of introduction? The days of introductions is gone.
No, you're right. You're right. That's a good. Ooh,
you press the button and you're on.
Oh man,
you are on. Anytime you open your mouth, anytime you breathe, whatever you do, you have to realize is that you're on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're on. You're never off. You think you're off. You figure, well, nobody's watching right now. No, you're watching. And when you're watching, you're seeing yourself and you're thinking about what you think about yourself. You have to turn those thoughts into gold. You have to be in the gold mine. You have to be gold-minded. You have to know that your blueprint is the blueprint of the God power that you've always had. We're not gaining God power. We've always had it, but we was on a different timeline. You see,
Facts.
Everybody gets to choose their timeline. And some of the timelines that we allowed ourselves to be on, were the ones that caused us to have amnesia. And we forgot about the natural power the blueprint to GodPower, which we all have. It's just a matter of knowing which way, which angle, which lines, which degree to be on, which attitude, which altitude to create the natural energy we already have and bring it forward. And that's what we're talking about. Timelines, man.
Yeah. Yo, it's such a great show. I'm so excited to have this show tonight. First of all, I'm excited because it's God Power Month and we're a week away, family. I just put the link in the chat. Let me pin it real quick. I got to pin it on my phone. So that's, oh man, not my phone. Okay, here we go. I'm glad. Okay, hold on. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited, y'all, because there's so many things going on right now. Dr. B talked about how we got to be focused on a certain thing despite what's going on. This is their last hoorah, their last chance to do what they got to do. So they're going to, it's like in football. The last play, if you down, they'll throw a Hail Mary. They'll just give it their all. They'll use all their strength and they'll throw the ball as far as they could throw it and hope somebody catch it. So right now, it's a Hail Mary play. It's the end game play. And I just hope y'all don't fall for the trick. I'm excited about God Power Part 2. I want to say one thing. I often follow my spirit, right, Dr. B? So let me see. Wait, hold up. We're going to have a great show tonight about this timeline split that's occurring and that's happening right now as we speak. But I want to talk. Let me give me 1 second, Dr. B. Let me get something going real quick. Give me 1 second. This is not planned. This is not planned. So give me a second. Be patient with me, family, while everybody loads into the room. We got 1,000 people so far. Let everybody load into the room. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for something. I don't know why I can't find it. I'm gonna find it. Family. Okay, so this one. Okay, I found it. All right. Right before Dr. B was about to say something. This is to hear Kingdom Child Moments. I would love for you to come on the show, and I really want y'all to understand what's going on. Your sentiments. I'm done with this realm. The majority of our people feel that way. I really need y'all to understand what this is about. It's not about being done with this realm. Once you really understand the timeline splits and the options and opportunities you have. Sis, I would love for you to come on live. This link, I said this other day, this link I'm about to post in the chat is only for this sister here. Please, none of you other people click on the link right now. This is only for this sister here. Kingdom Child Moments, I would love for you to come on the chat and just to chop it up with me and Dr. B real quick about this realm, because this is important. We're talking about God Power Month. I don't want y'all to think that we're not understanding what's going on out there and we're just on this level and we don't understand what y'all trying to express. I totally get what you're trying to express. Dr. B gets it, but we want you to understand what we're trying to express. We've been in this for a while. We've been studying this for a while. We have a certain understanding of this. I posted a link, Kingdom Child. If you are hearing me, if you're available, you can click on the link. We're going to continue, but if you click on the link, we'll stop doing what we're doing, and we're going to chop it up with you a while, because it's not about being done with this realm. It's about making a decision about what timeline you're going to choose, because this realm we've been talking so much about a multiverse. It's not one realm. It's different realities that you could choose to pick from, that you have the option of experiencing. So don't get caught up in this idea of one world, one universe, whatever. You could literally pick and choose, this what multiverse you participate in instead of this universe. So click on the link. We're going to that. In the meantime, let's get started with Dr. B. Dr. B, this is as we count down to God Power 2. I'm excited. You're excited. We're offering so much. It's my best event I ever put together, because I know what we're putting together, what we're planning. this topic right here, timeline splits, is particularly important because everything going on in the news. We live in a time where people are choosing what they're going to experience for the next 5 to 10 years because they're giving us such extreme scenarios. It's creating such extreme emotions. These emotions aren't going to die out within a year, Dr. B. These emotions that are being created, that are being conjured now, are going to be carried out for the next 5 years because these are extreme agendas. And I'm not going to name the agendas, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all see what's going on in the news in different areas. You'll see what's going on in the schools, in the streets, and different areas, so on and so forth. But this timeline thing is real, and I just want y'all to understand this idea. See, a brother clicked on the link. I'm trying to tell y'all. Yeah, I'm banned from the studio now. A brother just got banned. Like, don't be ignorant, fam. Y'all heard what I said. Don't click it. So I see Kingdom Child. Kingdom Child. I'm gonna ban somebody else. Kingdom Child, what's good? Sis, you there?
Greetings. Yes, I'm here. Sitting in the car actually right now, enjoying the night air.
Hey, I'm loving it. Listen, we're gearing up for GodPower Part 2. We're here to help. We're not here to talk over somebody. We're here to help the people. That's what we signed up for with this mission and our soul contract. I would love for you to explain, because I'm excited about what's going on right now. In your comment, I totally get it, totally understand it. I feel that way. I felt that way before. I feel as though I've gotten past that frequency personally, but I know what you're talking about. I would love for you to explain to us what you mean, and I would love for Dr. B to be of help and assistance to you in your journey on a more personal level in front of the world, so everybody can learn from this. So explain to me what you mean by I'm done with this realm.
Yes, thank you for having me and recognizing my frustration actually with
Indeed.
this realm.
It's all good. It's all good, sis. It's all good. Transparency.
Yes, indeed. And thank you guys for just even, having this type of platform. My frustration with this realm, and I'm something like a Bible thumper, but I study, so I'm gonna try to put it the best way I can. I'm more of a universal thinker, so it's like just in the physical realm, it's like how you try to take one step and get knocked down two. And that's just been a constant thing in this physical realm for me. However, if I were to go in my mind and pray for somebody, like it happens with them like tremendous, like, oh my God, like, okay, so I know that I have the power to uplift somebody else's life. But when it comes to me, it's like, what am I missing? Like, what am I not seeing? What am I not doing? And it's just so frustrating. And I'm to the point now where I'm just like, and I've been off the grid a couple times, and I'm in my mind, I'm still preparing to be off grid. But, right now it was a confusing type of time for me, to, whether I want to like be off grid or do I want to go apply for these people's job. And then, I'm working these people's job, and then I'm excellent, and they pretty much like rag me. And I'm just like, I'm at the point where I cannot let anything disrupt my high energy. But then somewhere along the line, it's like, oh my God, like I'm just so frustrated with this. And so it's like I'm just looking for like this realm to just like end so I can tap more so into my my spirit body, which I know is, edified, and I just can't find the balance. I don't know. And then I don't place myself as lost, I just don't know what to do at this point. And, I'm eating good diet and everything. It's just I'm continuing to be knocked down. And that's just been a part of my story, and it's like I can't get a step up no matter how hard I try.
I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
Do you feel like a victim?
No. No.
Then the question would be, what is making you speak the language of the victim? If you're not a victim, what you just spoke sounded as if you're speaking in the voice of the victim. Now, are you willing to change all this right now, tonight?
Yes,
Are
absolutely.
you really ready?
I am.
You're going to have to use the words I allow.
I remember when you did that video with Red Pill. You guys were outside at an event, and that was the first speech that you gave, as far as I'm concerned, about the I allow. And I have been using that. I have.
But you haven't used it in this conversation till now.
Indeed. I allow.
When you say I allow, you take your power back. You're allowing the job to cause you to feel a certain way. You're allowing the world, right, to do what it seems like it's doing. Check this out. We feel, hear, and see based on our expectations versus actuality. I'm going to say that again. We feel, hear, and see based on our expectations.
Indeed.
Versus actuality. If you expect to be a victim, if you expect for the job to do all these things to you, if you expect to help people and you're not getting any help, right? If you expect that, then the universe answers the call.
I'm expecting.
Let's listen. We make conclusions based on our interpretations of what we think is happening in our world. I could tell you right now that you're not being totally, and I'm going to say this respectfully. You may not be being totally honest because you have had a type of amnesia and you have forgotten that you came here to do a certain amount on this planet to help people.
Yes.
And to not expect anything back.
Indeed.
When you give, you don't give because you would like something back.
Right.
You don't need something to happen. See, people think that joy, success, manifestation comes because something happened. When you say, I am the happening, I don't need something to happen to me for me to exist in my best place. I'm allowing the best to happen. I'm allowing. And thank you for coming on here because you represent a lot of people.
Yes.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to assist you in having a timeline shift, if you would like it.
Indeed.
Now, if you're already a programmer and you're expecting failure, then it's not going to work. We might as well hang up now. You might as well
I am allowing
drive off into the darkness
to be gone, burnt.
Say that again. What would you say?
Say it again.
I am allowing any program that is hindering me to be burnt and collapsed and burn out.
Stop. I got to stop you. No longer use reverse mantras. A reverse mantra is one that says the problem in the language. It mentions the problem.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the solution. What is the opposite? Could you say the same thing you're saying and explain what you desire? Explain what you truly desire. What is the goal? Say it now.
I am allowing myself to be content and prosperous in this realm, to be joyful and happy in this realm as we transition to the next realm. That's pretty much all that I desire.
Stop.
Okay.
He was about to cut it off. Don't mention that's all you desire because that's not true. You desire the best. I'm going to give you a mantra. This is on me.
Okay.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable to be successful now. I allow myself to be magnetic and attract all things desirable to be successful now. Can you say that?
I am allowing myself to be.
Nope, not I am allowing.
I allow.
This is something we're really going to get into in GodPower. The language is very important. We're creating what's called the language syntax. Let's say it again. I allow myself.
I allow myself to be magnetic and attract all
things desirable.
Things desirable
to be successful.
To be successful.
Now.
Say
it again. Let me hear it.
Mm-hmm. I am allowing myself to be.
No, you did it again. You did it again.
I allow myself to be magnetic and
attracting. Don't see the and. I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable now.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable now.
Now, I'm hearing some stress in it, so we're going to put a tagline on it.
Okay.
We're going to open it up for you because you are a person who's been in chronic servitude, right? That's what it sounds like.
Indeed.
So we're going to put a tag on it so that your angels can help you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Say the line, and I'm going to put the tag on the end, and you're going to repeat the tag. You ready? Say the line one more time.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable now.
While helping others do the same.
While helping others do the same.
You hear that? You hear the change in your tone?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're so much into helping others, I had to trick you.
Indeed.
You're helping yourself, but the other people too. Some people need that in the tag, within the language syntax, that they're not doing it for themselves. Because some people have an issue being self-caring, putting themselves first. Because in church, you said you was a Bible thumper. It's a thing about, don't be selfish. Give it all away. Give it all up to somebody else.
Oh no, I'm not that type of Bible thumper. I've thankfully exceeded past the church.
If I was you, I'd thump all the holy books. Thump them all. Don't just pick one. Right about now, get them all. Go get them all. The Bhagavad Gita, get the emerald tablets if you can get them. Get every book. Get them all and thump on them all.
Okay.
Now let's say the statement again, because the train. You hear the train in the background?
Yes, the train. Yes.
What does the train says? It says you're traveling to another timeline. Whenever we do these subconscious alignments, something happens in the environment to let us know we're right on.
Confirmation. That was confirmation. Yeah.
This has been happening. I've been doing this, right? This part for like 30 years. And every time when we get to the point, something happens in the environment to let us know we're there. So let's take advantage of it. Say the statement again now.
Come on. Let's go, y'all.
I allow myself to be magnetic.
Attracting
all that I desire now.
All things desirable.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable while helping others.
Do the same.
And
you missed the word now, too. Let's say it one more time.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable now while helping others to do the same.
Helping others do the same.
I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all things desirable now while helping others to do the same.
Now you're speaking the language of a goddess. You're speaking the root language. Those words actually have real meaning in your subconscious. There's a lot of little words and things we use and antics and little pieces of stuff that we learn how to speak that actually cut you off from getting to your destination. That train is moving to its destination. That train is on a track. If the train disrails, right? If it goes off, it's going to crash. It's stuck onto a track. You've got to be on a certain track, which is your timeline. We just adjusted your timeline. Mm-hmm. You've jumped from a timeline of you was going down. You was a victim of the world. Oh my God, I can help so many people. You had, I saw you had the emergency suit on. You was driving an ambulance. You got you was a firewoman. You was a nurse. Somebody, a Willie done called. He need help. You're there, but you forgot about you. So we're putting you first. We're making you now realize you're calling to yourself, making a cell call to yourself, saying that I am magnetic. I allow. Because you wasn't allowing yourself to be magnetic. It was all in your languaging. Yes. The language of empowerment, the language of an aligned speaking is extremely important. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to teach you some of the pieces of it in GodPower. That's going to be a big piece because folks have these reverse mantras and this stuff that they learn in church, and they learn even I don't care where you come from. A lot of folks don't really realize what language, what it really is and how it can really work for you or against you. Your language is either going to be your lockdown or your liberator. Take that statement, write it down, say it before you go to bed at night, over and over and over and over and over and over and over. We will see you at GodPower too, so we can give you the other piece.
Thank you.
Hey, sis. I want to thank you. Did you get your ticket yet?
I have not gotten it yet.
All right, so check this out. Check this out, sis. My lady happened to be watching the show. So I made an announcement. The last show I did, I did a show the other day. I just did a show with Brother Yosef. I told the people I had one more ticket to give away. Free ticket to give away. I'm going to give it to you, sis.
Thank you.
No problem. That's the start. And you know what? I didn't even remember. I'm going to tell you how this happened. My lady just texted me. She said, "Don't you have one ticket to give away?" Oh, she deserved that. So she remembered. So the spirits is working on your behalf. I don't even remember I have a ticket to give away. My lady texted me. She's like, "Don't you got a ticket to give away?" I'm like, "Oh shit, you're right. I'm gonna give it." Yeah, you're right. I am gonna give it to her. So listen, this is how it starts. Listen, this event is the premier metaphysical conscious event of the year in the God year. This is going to change your life. I promise you. Yes. If you take this serious, if you treat this event, sis, listen to me. If you treat this event like you spend $5,000, you know how you treat stuff you spend $5,000 on. You know how if you get a couch, right, and you spend $5,000 on it, the kids can't sit on it, or $10,000. You're like, no, don't bring no food in here. I need y'all to treat. This is why when we pay for stuff, we appreciate it more because we spent money on our currency on it. So I want you to treat this ticket, this event, sis, like you spent $10,000. I don't ever want you to blame anybody because this is your golden opportunity. I picked you out the blue in the crowd. Then you get a free. Then you get a free ticket. Like the universe is saying, I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to. They telling you. They're like, I'm trying to help you, sis.
Yes.
Not you. But listen. Hold up, Dr. B.
Thank you.
What is your email so I could hit you up? What's your email?
So don't judge me by my email.
It's all good.
Okay, it's YAHWEHLIVES
Why would I judge you at that? Wait, what you said? At what?
At yahoo.com.
Yahweh lives at Yahoo, right?
Yes, indeed.
Sis, I'm not in this for that. I'm not in this. Whatever it takes for you to get to the light, you take that path. I'm not here to. Why do you think I have so many? Most of the speakers I have on here, sis, contradict each other.
Yes,
I don't mind. Everybody got their own path to the light. I'm not here to say, "Oh, you got to do this, so you got to have a." Billy believes in Billy. Billy don't fuck with flat Earth. Phil Valentine believes in flat Earth. I have them both on here at the same time because it's not about that.
Yes,
it's not about that. We're emotionally mature at this point, and we understand there's different ways to this thing that we call God or divinity or spirituality, sis. So don't ever be ashamed to say your email is Yahweh Liz, whatever that's you, sis. That worked for you. You do it, sis. Listen, I'm gonna email you tonight. I'm gonna send you the 7 sacred prayers tonight. Hallelujah. I want you to listen to it tonight. And it's on and popping for you, sis. And it don't have to happen overnight. It may take time, but just just one day at a time, sis. One day at a time.
Yes, I will.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
your timeline is not your timeline. You're on different railway tracks with different train tracks in life, different strings.
Mm-hmm.
The person who was on the call in the beginning
It's not
on the call now.
Talk to him, Dr. B. Since you hear that,
I
do
receive
you hear that?
You have just had,
Do you hear that?
and a whole lot of other people who are online right now are having a quantum shift, which is a timeline shift, because in the beginning you were downtrodden and the victim. You hadn't won nothing. Now here we go. Minutes later, you have become a winner. You're in the winner's circle. In the world is seeing
fast.
That fast. Just by changing your language, we change the vibration that you're sending into the quantum field. We changed the words and the meaning of the words, right? And we pulled you out of the mud and cleaned you off. You see, it's just like, you know, when the lotus is in the mud, right? The lotus flower is in the mud at night, right? But then in the daytime, when the sun hits the surface, it comes up out of the mud and it hits the top of the water, and it opens up into the most beautiful flower. So what we did was just help yourself and allow yourself to get out of the mud of life, right? And then wake you up and let everybody be a part of your awakening. You see, now you no longer can say what you said, because it is not the truth anymore, because that small language syntax, that small, and you know, in GodPower, I'm going to talk about how to use this language, because we use specific words. There's simple words that have a meaning, and the twos and the ands and all those things, they change the direction of what we're attempting to create. You're very creative. I'm going to tell you how deep it works. A woman was listening. Let's call her Mrs. Black Magic.
Mrs. Black Magic.
Indeed.
I want you to check this. I'm gonna check it how deep this is, because I done met her, so I already know about her power. We know what's working behind Brother Rich. Y'all have no idea. Well, I can tell. You know what I'm saying? I might not do magic, but I know magic. So listen. She heard the call. She is you. You are her. Y'all are sisters. Y'all are one.
Indeed.
So she messages Brother Rich and reminds him about a ticket to ride the train to the GodPower event that's going to change everything on the planet. What I'm telling you right now, they're throwing everything at people right now. Every type of misdirection and mass distraction possible to get you to miss this event. They know about this event, and they know why it's on the 29th. There's a reason why it's in October, why it's on the 29th. They know that first one, that one was a little too big. They wasn't expecting that. They came at them in a whole other angle. So there are beings, right, that we created who are going to test us to see if we're truly masters. We created them. We need sparring partners. So right now, you happen to send a message. Oh boy, you was going through whatever. You sent up a flare. Brother Rich grabbed the flare.
Thank you.
I began to help you create the language of empowerment right on the spot.
Indeed. I allow myself.
Then his wife grabbed the mantle. You see, we are all family. We're all one. We're in oneness. We're not separate. You're not separate from us. We're not better than you. We're all online right now. We're all being tested. I was tested today 5 times. I had to say, oh, wait a minute, this is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast.
Emergency broadcast.
This is a test.
One day.
One day. This sounds like what I was going through.
This was her. The stop. Here's one more thing before you go, and everybody remember this. Stop saying what I was going through. You better say she. You are no longer on the same timeline. You're not her. Let her go. You may need to change your email address after you get your ticket. Get a new email. Get a new phone number. Start dressing different, talking different, eating different. Because you're a different person. Everybody online right now is going through this with us together. We're all with you. We're all one. So congratulations. Why don't you applaud? Let me hear you clap.
Gratitude.
Celebrate. I don't hear no real celebration. I just heard a little clapping. You got to scream and holler and let it go. Thank you very much, Brother Rich. That was great.
Indeed. Shout out to that sister right there. Like I said, y'all, I just follow my spirit. So we got a show lined up for tonight, but I seen that comment, and I know a lot of people resonate with that comment because that is something that happens in this realm. I've been through it, where you just keep trying, and it seems like the more you try, the more things happen to you, and it's such a deflating feeling where it makes you just want to give up. It makes you just want to, say like, this is a horrible world. But y'all got to remember that our eyes are an extension. And I want Dr. B to continue. You could officially start the show from this statement I'm going to make when it comes to timeline splits, Dr. B. We have to remember, Dr. B, shout out to Billy Carson with the Blueprint for GodPower Part 2 happening October 29th. Link is in the description as well as pinned at the top of the chat. We have to remember, Dr. B, if we say the world is your thoughts, the world is your imagination, what do we see the world with, Dr. B? We see the world with our eyes. What are the eyes, Dr. B? The eyes are the extension of the brain. It's the only part of the brain that we can see. The eyes are the extension of the brain. We're seeing what's inside our brain, but we think we're seeing what's outside of us, but we're really, this is my brain. Now, what if in school, hold up, Dr. B, you know what to make this shit much more easier, family? If in school, starting from first grade, they said, this is your brain, this is your brain. If they said, this is your brain, and this is a different part of your brain, we'll be like, oh shit, okay, I'm seeing, okay, so what's coming from my eyes is coming from my brain, right? It'll make things much easier, but they don't do it like that. They separate everything. They say, this is your brain, this is your eyes, this is your ears, and we think everything is separate. But come to find out that you can study your eye and figure out every disease in your body, Dr. B, with iridology. So to start the show, Dr. B, we're talking about timeline splits. The people are fooled by the senses. This technology is so tricky. It's so tricky, Dr. B, that we think we're seeing something outside of us. They're selling us some shit, getting us to participate and create it when all the time it just happened in our mind. We didn't know that these things, and I got big eyes. All the time, these eyes are an extension of our brain, and we're just seeing what's inside our brain, and our brain is projecting this holographic image. Dr. B, to start the show like that, my brother, thank you for talking to that sister. Let's go, family. All right, let's go. Go ahead, brother.
We're seeing what we expect to see.
Expectations.
When you are programmed to see a certain way, to have a certain perception, you attract that and you see that. You may not see the things, right, outside of your expectations. And a lot of things that are expectations are things we're fascinated with. Whatever you're fascinated with, you become, you accept. You're fastened, you're tied to it. Now, the cranial brain, the one in your head, is not the one truly in charge. It's the one that you've given power to, and you think it's the CEO. Your gut, your solar plexus, the largest bundle of nerves in your body, which is in your gut, is the CEO. That's the captain of the ship. And it's in your body, so it has to do with feeling, because the body has to do with feeling. See, the brain don't feel. The brain has no nerves, not the type that feel. It's neurons, but you feel in the body. So we have allowed ourselves to be programmed to think that our thoughts are our feelings and that our feelings are our thoughts. They're separate things. Your eyes are seeing what you're thinking is reality. When one attempts To break the spell of what you think you're seeing, the ego sends messages to the quantum field, which creates an obstacle course of trials to test your resilience, your resolve, your determination to succeed in breaking the spell. Even though it looks like the world is the way you think it is, it also is not. For there to be a world, there must be no world. For there to be matter, there must also be antimatter. For there to be up, there must be down. For there to be bad, there must be good. All this is happening at the same time. They're just on different tracks, different train tracks. And each train has a different destination. They have a time that they leave and a time that they arrive at their destination, which is all different. All the trains coming from the station are different. All the people are different. All the vibrations that we're receiving from the universe are different, but they're all coming from one source. They're coming from oneness. And in that oneness, we're all one. We're all winners. You take one, right? And you take one. One is also what? One, like I won something. And you can only win something now. You can only have something right now. The only things you can actually have is right now. You can't have yesterday and yesteryear. You can't have tomorrow. But your eyes keep telling you can. Because there's so much eye candy out there, right? That's attracting you and distracting you that you cannot, unless you clear the slate and realize that the shift is happening right now. Let me not say that. Cancel, cut, delete, and clear. If you realize that you have the power to change everything, and you do, because some people realize they have the power, but they're afraid to use the power that they think they have. Some people are afraid to use the power. Why? Because they have the program gene of oppression so deep in them that they won't even speak truth to power. Fear comes online. Certain folks walk in the room and all of a sudden, you're having fun. You're talking to yourself. Yeah, I like that new music. Yeah, that's dope, man. And then certain people walk in the room. Oh, hi, how are you? We change up. Why do you change up? Because you got a program gene that says that I need to make these people feel like I'm intelligent or make them accept me. I need to be validated. I need to look a certain way. I need to dress a certain way, have a certain hairdo. I need to wear a certain shoe and have a certain watch and a certain ring. See, all that's eye candy, which works in the world where you feel like you're a victim. A lot of people don't realize that they're victims of their own self-oppression. You can tell people that's too flashy and too showy sometimes, that they are like slaves that just got off the plantation and that want to now actually have something and show everybody what they have. Some of the most successful people on the planet, they don't talk about it much. They don't show it. They don't need to. They're being, right, rather than doing. That's why I ask people, so how are you being rather than how are you doing? We know what you're doing. You're doing what you're supposed to do to be in the show, to be in the masquerade. This is the month of the masquerade. October is the month of the masquerade party. What do you mean? That's why they're going to have Halloween. You think this is just a thing just for the children, for the kids, as y'all say, it's for the kids? No, the adults be dressing up, putting on a mask. But now it don't even mean anything because it's like last year, Halloween comes and I was out riding around and it just looked normal to me. They said, it's Halloween. I said, well, this is the same stuff people wear and do anyway. This is it. This is no more. People are so dressed up and so made up that they have become the mask. When we get to the place of being transparent, when we open up and be who we really came to be without all the extra mask, then we can be on the bridge, which is October is the bridge. 8 is the bridge. It's Eta Theta. I know some of you have heard me talk about this. It's Eta Theta. This is the month of theta. Theta is the state, the brainwave state where you're in between sleeping and awake. It's the place where meditation happens. It's happening in the now if you're right on the seam between what you call yin and yang, that seam in between, where it's really gray if you really look at it, where black and white comes together. That's the most powerful place to be, in the now, in this moment, and create based on your words, your language syntax in this moment. Now you're tapping into God power. It's impossible to tap into your true God power if you're living in the past and you keep talking about yourself in the past as if the past is now, because now you're passed out. You're knocked out. You're knocked out of the now because you, for some reason, have been programmed and trained by you to allow yourself to take all this stuff from the past into this moment. So now the moment is crowded and you're not alone. So it's almost impossible to create if you're living in that past, or if you're living too far in the future. When the future comes, they call it today. So your eyes and your ears are looking and listening for what you already expect. And a lot of people believe that history repeats itself. So they take the timeline from the past and bring it into the present. When actually today, if you allow something to change, everything will change. The sister that was on, her whole life has changed. Everyone who went through the exercise with the sister, life changed. If you live it, don't believe it, because belief means you doubt. Do you believe it? Yeah, I believe it. That means there's a doubt. A belief is a doubt. If you know that in this moment, you are the gift and you're attracting everything desirable, you got to say, I allow myself to attract everything desirable. Because if you just say, I'm attracting everything and it's all kind of stuff coming at you. You will be tested. The best will be tested. And we look at it as if stuff is happening to me, instead of things are happening for me. All this stuff that you see going on in the world, some of it may not even be happening because you're looking too far. We're looking too far. We're being distracted. We're allowing ourselves to be distracted. We decide to scroll just before we go to bed. As soon as we wake up, at lunch and at dinner, you're digesting the scroll. But what you don't realize is that's not one of the ancient scrolls. This is the modern day scroll. See, the ancient scrolls was where we wrote very important information, mantras and prayers and directions. And we wrote with handwriting using scripture or using scoring to create. But if your new scroll, check it out, your new scroll is to scroll with your thumb, right? The finger that actually cannot do what the other fingers can do. It has less movement. It's just really for pressure and gripping. If you allow that scrolling to take your life, then you'll live there. You'll live in that place. You're in the artificial intelligence world. You're there. So I am saying that we have to put down the scroll. Take time where you're no longer controlled by those things, because your eyes and your ears are being programmed to expect whatever they're showing you and whatever you're moving towards, whatever you're fascinated with, you're tied to. You see, whether it's fashion has to do with fascism, you see, which has to do with military taking over and giving new laws and knocking out all of your natural rights. You know, I'm working on a part of GodPower right now that this just came to me in the last 2 days that I needed to cover this. And for those of you who are signing up, just know that, you know, it actually starts at 10. I know we haven't been able to change the time because Billy has been in Egypt inside the pyramids and for the last 3 weeks. I think it's been a little more than that. So he's been kind of out of touch. Imagine what he's going to come with. He's coming from the pyramids. Y'all need to hear this. And this is not the ancient pyramids. This is the pyramids now, because the pyramids have changed since they were before. Everything is changing. That's what they call it, the sands of time. The sand around the pyramids, the sand around the world, the dirt, the soil is changing constantly. So what he's going to be bringing, I can't even imagine, to the GodPower coming from the Giza Plateau. Imagine the energy he's going to be charged with. Okay? But in the last few days, I was working on my slide presentation, and I realized that we need to get down to what GodPower actually is and take it away from just being a concept in wording and take it into the place where we can use this GodPower for our best good and help others do the same. It's not just about us, us, us. That's why we have to put that tagline on it sometimes. And while helping others, while assisting others do the same, instead of just me, 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 me. So when I got into the piece about what GodPower is, it just started unfolding why we've allowed ourselves to be in the position that we're in right now in the world. No matter where we're at, some things happen. And I'm going to tell you the things that happened. There was a sequence of things that happened that caused us to go through what they call the fall of man. The fall from grace. But now we're at a brand new place. There's an evolution coming online. There is a gene that has been dormant. There's a gene key that has been dormant until now. And I finally get it, Mr. Dick Gregory. Thank you, brother. I'm finally getting the message. Why it was all about 2022, 2023, 2024. Why this triage of years is so critical. It's because there's an ancient dormant gene which is coming online now. And it has to do with us moving from being victims to being victorious. There's only 1 degree of separation between up and down. There's only 1 degree of separation between good and bad and evil. There's only 1 degree of separation between black and white. There's only 1 degree of separation between any opposites. 1 degree. Change your angle just a little bit and everything changes. You got a boat, you got a sailboat. You can change the sail 1 degree and it changes the whole course of the trip. A 1 degree change over time becomes 100% change. This gene that's coming online now, you can see it if you really watch the world, watch people. We're going through a metamorphosis. We're going through a morphogenic shift. Right now, it's happening. And this is turning on the God particle and the GodPower that's already in us. And everything we've been through, we had to go through to get to the beautiful place. Every journey, every hero's journey, right? It's about trial. It's about being tested. It's an obstacle course. Things pop up. Oh my God, why is it so bad? Why me? It's so bad. I turn on the news and I get hung by the noose. You know what I'm saying? The 6 o'clock news. Oh boy, it's here. They got this going. They got that going on. You see all the problems in the world. Well, guess what? It is a 1 degree change shift between that and something else. So yes, these things are happening based on your expectations, what you're looking for, what you're viewing, what you're seeing, what you're attracting, what you're hearing. Listen to the music. The music, they're programming us. The people who allow themselves are being programmed so deeply right now by music. I'm not saying in a disagreeable way. Some people are being programmed in an agreeable way. There's so much good music out right now. People say, well, the music is terrible right now. That's because you're what? Fascinated. You're fastened. You're focusing on that. That's all you hear. Turn the dial. Turn the station. There's so much new music going on right now. It's in the underground. It's not going to be on your mainstream network because your mainstream network is a net and you're working the net. Somebody's working that net and you're becoming the work of the net. You're the fish. So when they say, October is the harvest season, we keep hearing about it. It's the harvest season. It's Oktoberfest. They partying and dancing because what? They've seen what they've now able to manifest the crops the things that we have, manifested, grown through the year, we manifest in the beginning of October or through October. So check this out. What we didn't realize until now is that we were the harvest. We were being raised. We were being programmed by our other selves.
Wow.
We did this.
Wow.
And when you start taking and being accountable, right? Then you can become an accountant and you can learn how to count backwards because you don't learn how to count forward. You got to learn how to count backwards. Why the spaceship takes off, they count down. Why when all of a sudden New Year's come, they counting down? Why you think that? What about the countdown? See, it's not just about. I'm attempting not to give it all away, but or I should say, and the harvest season is when you choose to be the gardener, the farmer of your own crop, and you choose to be accountable. And you choose to give yourself the allowance, to allow yourself the allowance that you desire. See, we hear about allowance. We think that somebody got to give us something. Just in the wording. Oh, I got an allowance. I get an allowance every such and such. You know what I'm saying? I get Social Security. That's an allowance. You see, the society is not secure. So you have to really begin to change the way you speak, the way you walk, and the way you talk. To turn on the God power principles in us all. This is the time that we could do it. Tell your friends, tell everybody. And so that way they won't be able to say, well, they didn't know. Because where we're going is where we're from. After October, we go into November. Nov is a 9, which is completion. We complete a whole cycle. What's going to happen in 2024? Right? Which is an 8. The whole year is an 8. We'll be building and destroying. But guess what? With your blueprint for God power, you're going to learn what to build and what to destroy. That's what we did to this with the sister in the beginning of the show. We taught her the principle of building and destroying with her words. Your words will be your liberator or your lockdown. Brother Rich, back to you.
Oh man, this is so wonderful. Hey, peace to everybody in the chat. What is going on? If everybody's just tuning in, man, the beginning was just phenomenal, y'all. Y'all gotta rewind it if y'all missed what happened in the beginning. You know what's amazing, Dr. B? The sister, and shout out to everybody with the super chat. I've been so busy doing what I do. I've gotten a lot of super chats tonight. Shout out to everybody with the super chat. I'm about to get to some of y'all in a second. The sister we was talking to earlier, what was interested about it is that if you notice, the conversation ended a little abruptly, like a phone like cut off. So in the comments, she said my phone died out. Her phone didn't die until after she got that ticket, Dr. B. After she got that ticket and you gave her the talk after the ticket, her phone died. Her phone was able to make it. Her phone was able, it stayed alive that whole conversation. After she got what she needed to get and heard what she needed to hear, the phone died. Tell me that ain't some amazing shit, Dr. B. Whew. Shout out to that sister once again, man. Wow.
There are so many signs when you learn how to read.
So many. When you know how to read them. Good, I'm sorry.
You've got to know how to read them. And you can't, I remember I had this book many, many years ago. It was a book of dreams.
Yeah.
And I had this dream book, and I used to go by this dream. It was a big, thick book, 2 inches thick. And I had this dream about this black man coming to me and giving me this message. So I looked in the book and I read what it means for a black man to come to you in a dream. It said bad luck.
Oh, yikes.
That I should expect something terrible and evil to happen in my life. And the black man came to steal something. And I need to make sure that this is in a book.
Damn, where you got this book from? Barnes and Noble? Where you got this book from, brother?
I got it from Nobles and Barnes. It didn't make no difference who I got it from.
Jesus Christ.
I bought it, and I was really looking for a dream book. I wanted interpretations of dreams. Now check out how deep this is. I got upset, and I had a fireplace, and I threw the book in the fireplace. And then it hit me. I heard my mother's voice. I said, boy, why are you reading a dream book? My mother, she had my mother read dreams.
Right.
For people. People would come to her from all over. She would just know. My mother was very intuitive. She could just snatch stuff out the air. And just, she was famous in our town where we're from. My mother, very powerful person from a whole nother realm. I'm sitting here figuring, well, she's left the planet. So I don't have the power to interpret my own dreams. I'm going to go to the oppressor and ask the oppressor, what do my dreams mean? I'm going to go to the preacher and ask the preacher what something means. When I got the book I can read, I'm going to go to the president, the governor. I'm going to ask my teachers, what does stuff mean when actually it's already in my cellular structure? I knew what the dream meant, but I didn't believe my own thoughts. I doubted myself because after being oppressed for so long, you become your own oppressor and you don't realize that you're oppressing yourself by not being able to see the signs and symbols with your own eyes. You know what it felt like. I know what it felt like when I had that dream about the black man coming to give me something. But I read their book and I believed it. And I followed it until I got to that. You know how many years I'd been reading that book? And I had to throw it in the fire and burn it up. My point is that many of the things we have used have to go. Some of them are spiritual items that you've been using. You know what I'm saying? You got your stuff. At this time, we're being urged to let a lot of these things go because it's already in our cellular structure. Everything is there. It was totally complete. Let me tell you a story. There was a guy who basically left home early and he needed to survive and he didn't know what he could do. So somebody said, well, if you go down to the shipyard, maybe you can get a job on a ship. They got big ships that are going out and you can become, this guy was a longshoreman and he told this young fella to go down to the shipyard. So he goes down to the shipyard and he tells them that he wants to get a job. So they sign him up and say, you got a job, right? And the guy says, okay, I'll be back tomorrow with my stuff. So the guy goes back to his place, right, where he's staying, and he gathers all of his stuff. He gets some rice and some beans, and he gets his 2 whole backpacks in a suitcase full of stuff that he's going to, bring on the boat with him because he's going to be on a cruise. I mean, not on a boat, on the boat for like 6 months. Check it out, Brother Rich. The guy walks around the whole boat and he finds the cargo hold. And he sets up all his little stuff. He had candles, right? He had a little roll-up mattress and a sleeping bag, and he lays it out down in the bottom of the boat in the cargo hold. He goes to work every day on the boat. He's supposed to, sweep clean the dock, the mop the floors. And he does this every day. But at dinner time, he disappears. At breakfast time, he disappears. And at night, he disappears. So one day he's talking to one of the guys on the boat, and the guy says, anyway, how come you never eat with us in the mess hall? The guy says, the gentleman says, what mess hall? He says, where we eat every day. He says, well, where do you sleep? He says, I have my cot down in the cargo hold. He says, you sleep down there? Why? He said, because that's where I sleep. I'm supposed to sleep there, right? He said, isn't there rats down there? And he said, well, yeah, but I got used to them. I got used to being down there in a damp, wet evening. I have my own beans and rice. I cook my own food down there. The older gentleman tells the young guy, says, listen, when you got on the boat and got the job, you had a bed. You had 3 square meals a day for you. We had clothes for you. Everything you needed was here on the boat when you got the job. But when you come from oppression, when you feel your lack and you feel you're living in limitation, your timeline says, I got to go to the deepest part of the boat, the darkest part, and I'm going to go down there. Even though I got a job, I am not going to take advantage of the best that I could get. I am used to having the least. I'm used to being the low person on the totem pole. So I'm going to go down there and live in suffrage and not even get what was already given, what was already there. I'm not going to even accept it. The older man had to take the young dude to his room, to his cot, to his cabin, and show him. He had to walk him to dinner and everything. And the guy was crying. The young guy was crying because he didn't even want to accept this, that everything was ready for him when he decided to take the journey. I'm here to tell y'all right now, everything has already been put here for you on this journey. You have it all. You might talk about what you don't have. You have more than the average person have. It's got to do with your mindset. And if you're using it in the disagreeable, you can use it in the agreeable. When you got on the journey, on this boat, in this ship, in this body, in this world, when you manifested as the CEO, as the captain within your body, you gave up the power. You thought you would be down in the cargo hold in the dark, wet place with the rats and the dampness and mold. You chose that. Now you can choose something different because you have something different. You're being given something different. Right now, the GodPower principle in every one of your cells is coming online, attempting to give you the gift that you always had that you didn't realize you had because of oppression. So now you got to move from oppression to what? Become impressive. Impress yourself. Press yourself past the trial and limitation. Get out of the cargo hold. Bring yourself up on the ship and become what? Of sound mind and body. That takes you being ready, willing, and able to become GodPower.
Whew, man. You got a way of speaking, my brother. Those are some powerful words. Those are some powerful words, Dr. B. Wow. Wow. Once again, I want to thank everybody. We're not ending the show now. I just want to thank y'all for tuning in. I mean, a powerful live. I was just so hyped to start the show. This is such a wonderful time to be alive. And when I say that, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to what's going on in the world. I say that to show people that there's a different wavelength that we could exist on. There's a different frequency that we could exist on without disrespecting the other frequency. It's just simply experiencing something different and understanding that there's different dimensions, there's different wavelengths, there's different frequencies, there's different vibrations, it's different universes down here. And I think, Dr. B, I guess to continue, I think our people think that our suffering somehow helps other people that are suffering. It's a guilt that we have as a people that for whatever we've been through, Dr. B, that if I'm up here, I'm confident. I got on my jewelry, Dr. B. I got on emeralds. I got on a diamond chain. I got them. This come from my father. This is my father's. He passed away in 1981. This is an Aries. So I wear this in representation of my dad. I got on a lot of gold from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, different, and a person who's conscious, for them to come up and act a certain way and talk with a certain confidence, they almost feel like they're hurting people or they're doing a disservice to people who don't yet get it, who are suffering, who are living in poverty, who are just doing bad or not understanding this realm. Talk to me about our idea that for me to suffer is somehow helping other people, and for me to for me, our thought style, let me say this clearly. A lot of us think, well, if I suffer, I'm helping them because we could all relate to each other. And nobody feels better than one another. But if I do great, I'm hurting them. I'm making them feel bad. So I don't want to, a lot of our people feel like I don't want to do too great because I'm above the rest of my people, because my people can't relate to me, because my people see me with gold on them, my people see me with money on, my people see me with 5 homes or whatever it may be. Our people, we live with a lot of guilt, and our guilt hurts us a lot from advancing and tapping into this God power. I remember sometime, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before you answer this, Dr. B. I remember times in my life, Dr. B, a lot of times in my life, when I lived in New York, and especially when I worked outside, and I would be happy, and a person would walk by, and they weren't too happy when they walked by, and they'll be like, "Shit, fucked up out here. This shit crazy, right?" I'd be like, "Oh shit, you almost feel like you gotta say right. You almost feel like you gotta agree with them." Because Dr. B, if I'd be like, "Nah, this shit good, this shit popping, man," you feel like you're a traitor. You feel like you're delusional. You just don't feel good. So when a person be like, "This shit is crazy, right, my nigga?" You feel like you have to agree with them. And if you agree with them, you lower your vibration and you start throwing away your currency. You start, lessening your currency, if that's the right word. Talk to me about that idea that we have and that we hold on to as a people. It's not just black people. A lot of people feel like this, but especially a lot of black people, I think. But go ahead, Dr. B.
See, a lot of us still have the tribal mentality.
Tribal, okay.
Where we feel like we're part of a tribe and we need other people to be with us in that tribal way of thinking. A lot of people are not able to tap into their neurodivergentism, where they are programmed to be different, divergent, to be totally an apostate. A lot of times we lower our expectations, our focus and everything to be with others because we feel like we need a crew.
Yeah.
So some people, because they haven't chosen their path, their timeline strongly enough, they merge with others and look for others that seem to be in the same place that they're in. So one thing that black religions did for us was made us feel like we need to suffer. And struggle was good because that was going to get you into heaven. To do without, give it all away. Don't keep none for yourself. People learned how to be, to live in this, what I call chronic servitude syndrome, where you're always doing everything for others. And actually, we're supposed to maybe only give away 10%, but some people give away 110%.
Whoo, powerful. Damn, Dr. B.
And you feel like if you suffer like Christ suffered in the story, then you are doing good because you're suffering for other people's sins. Some people feel like pain and struggle and suffrage is a merit badge. I've been through so much and I'm between a rock and a hard place. But if I keep on such and such, God's going to be good to me. See, just take the word God and just realize that that's you. You have to be good to yourself.
Okay.
Now, it's interesting when we feel like we're climbing, we sometimes want to go back to get everybody else. You feel like, I got to go help them. Now, a lot of times you miss the train while you're helping everybody else get to the top. Sometimes what you need to do is be totally divergent, get to the top yourself first, have that experience, then go help other people, right? You might be able to go back and get them if you get to the top. So you've got to raise your energy, raise your wealth, because if you got wealth, you can build a town, build a city, build a huge garden. If you don't have any wealth, if you don't have any prosperity, right, and you're trying to lead people, then where are you leading them? You see, a lot of people say, well, I'm into this whole health and wellness. Well, actually, a lot of people are into wealth and hellness.
What that mean?
You know what I mean?
Health and hellness.
There's a whole lot of corporations that's into this herb thing. This is ancient. This is our stuff. We were plant people always. This is indigenous, us living off the land, eating the food in season, using herbs and natural medicines and minerals and things, and breathing air and grounding. But since we got caught up in waiting for somebody else to help us get to heaven instead of living on heaven earth, we left a lot of our stuff behind because somebody told you that stuff is paganism. That ain't nothing but the devil. You're going to take some. You better go see your doctor. Yet you got a doctor's appointment for tomorrow. You sit up here taking some cayenne pepper pills. You better go see your doctor when you're attempting to be your doctor. But now you got to choose which doctor you're going to go to. Which doctor are you going to be? Are you going to take your herbs and your medicines and your natural stuff and stay with that? And realize that you may go through some pain, or do you want to go to the doctor so he can give you a pill where you feel painless for a minute? But the disease is becoming stronger. You see, we gave up a lot of stuff that now is coming back online. But what's happening when I say health and wellness versus what did I say? Wealth and wellness. Yeah. A lot of people are getting rich, really, really. I'm talking about really, really rich off your indigenous stuff, your herbs, your medicine. Big, huge corporations who are selling you your stuff that you can go get yourself, or you could support the person in your community who looks like you, talks like you, right? We go to the big company. Because of the mindset of that might be better because it's in a better package. It had a glossy label and it had a huge logo. It was on the television. In fact, some of these herbs, some of these products now is on billboards blinking. It's like cannabis. All of a sudden, cannabis, right? Now all of a sudden it's a big thing. It's a medicine, right? The people that was selling it on the streets when it was natural, when it was organic, when it was growing in the earth, in the sun, some of them is still in the jail for a joint. But the stuff that's legal, right? What's really legal, you don't see nothing organic in the shop. It's all man-made, hybridized. It's pumped up. The plant is growing overnight. Bugs don't even fly on them. Bugs don't even come to get the pollen of cannabis no more. They don't want it. They're putting things on the plant that actually cause the plant to deflect mold, to deflect bugs. My point here is that this is our indigenous stuff, but we have to start remembering, if you spend enough time or invest enough time outside in the earth, if you go to gardens, if you go smell real plants again and get real air and speak honestly to people, be transparent, tell them the truth. Somebody says, how you doing? You say, well, I'm not doing that great today. I'm going through ascension, symptoms. You know what I'm saying? You start going through ascension, you start ascending. You think that's going to feel good. For a lot of folks, that don't feel good. It don't feel good sometimes that you can't, you got all this food that you've been eating, and now you realize that food, that soul food, was sucking away your soul, right? Because you thought soul food was something good for your soul. You saw the movie Soul Food. What took grandma out was the food. She could cook it so good. They had a huge table full of food. Grandma was always cooking. That's all she was doing. That was her job, to cook in the kitchen. It took grandma out. They cut her legs off, right? Then she died, right? What do the children do in the movie at the end? They all get together and they cook grandma's food and they feast off the food that killed grandma. This movie could have had another ending. It was a black movie. Black folks was proud of soul food. Folks was in the theater. They was there early in line. But the real soul food is food that feeds your soul. But the little trick, 1 degree shift. And all of a sudden, you leave the God, what God made you, the earth, the universe made, the universal God, the natural creations, and you go to this artificial stuff, and you begin to think that the soul food, right, was good for you. See, your ancestors were forced to eat that. Some of our ancestors were forced to eat those foods, which was the worst of the worst. And we peppered it and sugared it up and seasoned it, made gravies and things to cover up the funk and the fake and the feces. But why would you now call yourself free or attempting to be free and be eating the food that your ancestors were forced to eat? Do you think your ancestors would be? You keep talking about you doing an ancestor meditation. What are y'all eating? Because if you're eating the things that they were, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't even know how to say it clearly. It gets me so I gotta calm down. You must eat within your timeline. If you're saying that I am moving towards being more godlike, more creative, if I'm ready to crystallize my imagination, I've got to eat a certain way. I've got to listen to a certain type of music. I've got to hang out with a certain group of people. And I also realize that I got to become successful to help my people. You got to become successful. You don't have to do this. I'm just saying this is what my point of view is. If you are able to lead folks out of hell because you've been out, you're the black sheep, you've been outside the farm, you can always come back and get some of the sheep. But see, you're spending time trying to beg the sheep to leave the farm. They don't want to farm. They don't want to leave the farm because that's all they see is the farm. They live in a pharmacy. They live there. They want to be there. That's none of your business. You want to argue with folks about stuff. You're wasting your time talking to these people. That's like you going to the store, asking somebody help for something and they don't know, and you're arguing with them. You need to ask for the manager, ask for the supervisor. If you got a problem in the store, don't ask to help. What I'm saying is right now, we have to get to the point where we're out of the mud. So, somebody told us that being wealthy was bad. It's not good to go get to wear all these chains and all this gold and all. Why? That's our stuff. You don't buy them when the preacher is living like that. It's okay. You don't mind that. You support that. You'll buy him a jet. Let's all get together and buy him a jet because he got to fly from here to there. But then most of the congregation is less than prosperous. My point here is that we are at a place in time where we can change everything. While the they that we say are causing most of the issues in the world are busy because their situation is falling apart. We are now changing our DNA. We're changing our timeline.
Right.
We're shifting timelines. Everybody you talk to is not on the same timeline, even though they all got watches and you say it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock for you means something. I don't wear a watch. I don't know what 12 o'clock is. You got to tell me. I don't look at my phone. I don't know what time it is. See, you may be having a discussion with somebody who's going through hell, but you are not going through hell. You're going through heaven. You're experiencing heaven. If you hang around this person too much and agree with them and bob your head a little too much with them, hell begins to take over.
Yeah.
It's like if you take two plants. If you take two plants and put one plant that's really doing well and put it next to a plant that's dying, the plant that's really doing well begins to die. Because the energy of that dying plant begins to suck the life force trying to live out of, right, the living plant. People will suck your life force out if you allow them. We have to get to the place where we are allowing ourselves to say no. Allowing ourselves to be wealthy, allowing ourselves to be prosperous, allowing ourselves to help others. And like with the sister in the beginning of the show, I said, helping others do the same while helping others do the same. Let's help others. What you're doing here is helping people. You've changed a lot of people just by having this particular platform. Even though, like you said, everybody on the show don't agree. You think that all people agree? We're all different. Diversity is what nature is. The oak tree don't agree with the pine tree.
Oh, super facts. Super
The
facts.
grasshopper don't agree with the sparrow.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
They don't need to agree. They need to do what they do. They need to mind their business and business their mind. But what has happened here, and I'm going to get deep into it when we're in GodPower, something happened to get us to be diverted from our original selves and the real power that we all had, because this GodPower thing is not just for some, it's for everyone. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Isn't that a song? No, we don't need another mountain. There's all kinds of mountains to climb. We don't need another ocean. The one thing that there may be just too little of is love. The love for yourself. And the first step to turning on your GodPower is realizing what is love. Because sometimes what you've been calling love is not love. Sometimes it's hate wearing love's clothing. A lot of people, what they call love is they talking gossiping about somebody else, pointing the finger, and they say they love God. God is good, but you talking about somebody else really bad. And I know a lot of my quote unquote religious friends are very disagreeable and very disrespectful. Even folks in the conscious world, a lot of us are very disrespectful and disagreeable. And like you said, they speak the language of problems. They speak the language of being poor, and they're always pointing the finger. We've got to stop being victims today, because the gene that's coming on now, there's a gene that's been latent. It's in all of us. It says, first, you got to stop being a victim and be accountable and get into yourself. Love yourself and realize that your neighbor is you. We are not separate. We're all one. We're all winners. We were born winners. Do you know how many sperm came out when you arrived? You know, only one of them was being attracted by that egg. And you came from that. So if you're here, no matter what your condition is, you are a winner. Now you've got to what? Become a master. You got to master this world. There are people who don't have, you might have all your fingers. Somebody doesn't have all their fingers. You may have legs. Somebody else may not have legs. You may hear, and some people, they can't hear, not the way you do. But achievement has nothing to do with that. When you set your goal on achieving and becoming a winner, when you use whatever you have, that's when you're tapping into your GodPower. Using what you do have. Let's not look at what you don't have. And let's stop talking about what they did and what they're doing to you. What are you doing to yourself? The blueprint for GodPower 2 is the second phase of taking us out of this world and changing our timeline. As the woman earlier found out, her whole world changed in just a few minutes.
Change her whole world.
All I had to do was direct her to her original selves. Her original cells. Her original cells. Her mitochondria was waiting to hear the words of empowerment. Your mitochondria is ready. Your gut, your original brain, your solar plexus is charged up and ready to change everything.
Yeah.
But you got to change your language to change your life. You got to change your point of view. You have to be ready to let it all go. And that's the most challenging thing for some folks, is to let it go. So on next Sunday, for what is it, 10, 11, 12 hours? I don't even know how long it is. Be ready to let go and let the GodPower in you grow.
Indeed. A quick announcement. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 2,500 people in the chat. For everybody who buys a ticket tonight, I will send out the 7 sacred prayers. For all of those who may not, I see somebody ask, how can others find the 7 sacred prayers? That is a part of the package when you buy the blueprint for GodPower 2. It should have been emailed to everybody within 48 hours. If you, for whatever reason, 90% of people, 95% of people got their 7 sacred prayers who bought tickets. If you did not get it, just email me. I'll look into it and I'll send it to you. Everybody who purchases their ticket today, I know that some of y'all, a lot of people bought tickets tonight during the show. I'm going to send out the 7 second prayers tonight. So everybody who bought tickets, you will get the 7 second prayers tonight. So if you decide to buy a ticket tonight, you will have it available tonight. All right. That is some bonus content that we decided to include. If you aren't aware, there's a workshop happening October 29th, but this time we've included a lot of bonus content. We've included something called the 7 second prayers. We've included a meditation album. We've included immersion sound bath therapy that Dr. B is giving to y'all. We've included a chance to meet us. 3 lucky people who get a chance to meet a meet and greet with Billy, Dr. B, and Rich. So just, we want to do something special. We experienced a lot of success with the first one. So we said, let's give them a lot of bonus content, something they could appreciate, that'll carry them into 2024, since 2024 is such an important year. For those of you who have not heard what's going on, maybe y'all live under a rock or something, don't know. Let me give you an example. I've been giving examples of the 7 sacred prayers. Let me just give you a small example. All right. I'll give you a small example.
What's going on, loved one?
Let me give y'all Dr. B's part. Let me give you an example of Dr. B's part. Since the sister earlier who changed her timeline, we're talking about timeline splits, the I allow, she started saying that. All of a sudden, I get a text from my lady. My lady reminds me that I got an extra ticket to give away. Then next thing you know, she gets an extra ticket. I forgot. I wasn't going to get. I forgot. I told y'all yesterday or the day before that I had an extra ticket, but I forgot. I'm in the mood. I'm so happy. I'm just in the zone. My girl texts me, tells me, you got an extra ticket. Negro, give it to her. I'm like, oh, you right, baby. Okay, I'm going to give it to her. A whole timeline, switch the whole timeline like that. So let me show y'all what Dr. B, this is for everybody who purchases a ticket for the Blueprint for GodPower. I'm going to go to
Speaking that energy. As the world seems like it's going astray, give me the power.
Billy's power is powerful.
To be a guiding light, to be a lighthouse.
To be the director, to be the writer, the composer, the copywriter, the publicist. Each person, when we do this, it changes the vibration. Just by giving yourself permission, your thought, your prayer, your idea travels through the omniverse, through the multiverse, and reaches the entire universe. Then I open my eyes and I repeat what I am grateful for. And the things that I'm grateful for, I'm being grateful for things that have yet to come and things that have already come. Being grateful in advance. I'm grateful to be healthy, wealthy, wise. I'm grateful to be loving, caring. I am grateful to have an audience that listens, who is ready to learn. I'm grateful for the material things that are coming to us as we think these thoughts, we begin to manifest. I am grateful for manifesting all the great things and the success that is arriving now. I am grateful in advance for love, wholeness.
All right. Wow, I get chills every time I see that, Doc. Oh, man. Woo, I get chills every time I see that. I don't want to give y'all too much, man. Y'all got, wow, I get chills every time I see that, man. Oh, man, it just touch a different part. It touches part of my soul that we don't get things that touch your soul that much. We get things that touch our mind. We get things that touch our body. But there's not often where you get something, you come across information that touches your soul, or even that we hear soul music. Remember how we used to hear soul music back in the day, and we don't even get so when you get something that touches your soul, you got to appreciate it. And Dr. B, you touched our soul on that one, my brother. You really did.
And you know, I still
don't remember
because I was having an experience
at
that time when that happened. That was really deep. But you know, you mentioned soul music. I was asked the other day, because you know I have this show, Serious Vibes with Dr. B Sirius. Check it out on YouTube, Serious Vibes with Dr. B Sirius. And I was asked, what happened to soul music? I said, what do you mean what happened to it? They said, well, you know, now there's no soul music. There is soul music. It's just that we allowed somebody to rename it R&B. We allowed someone in the marketing department of a record company to call it R&B. Like, you know, hip hop used to be rap, the revolution of African people, but everybody couldn't be a part of that because they weren't African people. So we changed it. We allowed it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. We just need to know that each thing still exists. The original still exists. It's not gone anywhere. It's latent. It's in us. The original people, and I'm going to say this, I don't want to give it up too much. The original belief system was emanation. Animism?
What they?
Animism.
Yeah. Something.
Animism.
Yeah.
I was saying it off just a little bit so people would do research, but you know, you gave it away. It's all right. Everything was alive. Everything was God. Everything, every particle, every bug, everything. Which meant that we were tapped in to everything. Our hair, we could touch it, you know, your hair and touch the earth. This is what they were talking about in Avatar. Those people are into everything. Everything is everything. We have the power to do that now. They can't stop you. There's no defense for this. It is our birthright. And the thing about it is, they don't know you're coming because they're busy. They live, are busy trying to protect themselves in survival mode. We have an opportunity now to tap into what's already there. The thing is that we lost the blueprint.
Yes.
The blueprint is a map. It's a treasure map. You see, if you realize this, if you look at this and say, there's a treasure map. If somebody told you, if your grandfather gave you this map and said, you know, I'm about to leave the planet and I got something that I left on some land for all of y'all, and each one of you gonna be wealthy for all your years. There's a map, and you're gonna have to go find the treasure. Everybody in the family would be fighting, right? Struggling, doing whatever they got to do to figure out the map, the treasure map, because it's wealth at the end of the rainbow. There's gold at the end of the rainbow. The blueprint for GodPower is the treasure map. Because when I lay out this piece about language and using this mystical, it's not mystical, it's magical language of empowerment, which is based on language syntax, I'm also going to lay out this thing about the eyes and how to use your eyes as technology to get you to where you're going. Another very important piece, because most of us, even though we have eyes, we're blind. Even though we have ears, we're deaf. Even though we have tongues, we're dumb. Once you learn personal kinesiology, the basics of personal kinesiology, which is muscle testing, everything changes. Because your body is where your subconscious is. Your muscles respond a certain way based on words and based on sounds and based on frequencies. So I'm going to teach a type of kinesiology which will give you a yes or a no about anything you're asking.
It's powerful.
Now, the only thing about it is you got to be there. And you've got to practice this. You've got to try over and over. There's going to be a learning curve. You see, we're going to give the treasure map away. Part 1 was the beginning of it. Part 2 is the next section of ascension. So this is really important that we all, choose. You have to choose willingly. We're not forcing you. Do what you do. If you feel it, come get on the love train. That's all right. So the things that we're going to be offering are things that you can use that comes from you for you. This is a public service message from your cells, from your mitochondria, from your alien angels, from your soul, from the cosmic world. The things that we're going to be talking about and offering have never been talked about in this way or never taught this way before. I can guarantee you that. Some of the things that I'm going to be teaching, I couldn't teach till now. Because in many of the traditions that I was taught, we took oaths. And there's certain times you can't give out certain information until the people reach a certain point. There were certain things that we couldn't talk about until now. Because the ancient people were very intelligent. Well, I should say they were very wise. So they knew there's going to be a certain time when the sun is in a certain position, when the earth's in a certain position, when the moon, and when we are what? On the right angle in the universe, you can give out certain information. See, people today, they want it all right now. They just want to push a button and get it.
Yeah.
I can get it from YouTube right now. I can just hit a button. I got an app that can tell me anything. I got an artificial intelligent,
ChatGPT.
I can push a button and write a whole book. You didn't write the book. You feel like, well, it's my book. Well, no, it's ChatGPT's book, whatever it is. I'm saying that there's a subtle thing that being a person, being in these avatars that the machines can never do. They can never replace you unless you allow it. So now as the world goes more into allowing technology to run the world, we have to swing the pendulum the other way and go more and more natural. It's possible. We can use technology, but we don't rely on it.
There's a difference.
When you learn this type of kinesiology, this muscle testing, it's like having a magic wand. Where's my magic wand? Is it in here? It's like having a magic wand where you can get a yes or a no about anything that's happening in the now. Should I eat this particular grape? You can do a muscle test. Should I go on this date? Should I have this conversation? And another thing is, having self-control is really important. And, knowing when to say yes, knowing how to know when and when to know how is really important. And sometimes that takes years and years to get, but we don't have years. Because there's a timeline here where everything is about to die. This whole thing has been created and destroyed like 5 times. We're at the end of a cycle. We're at the time when most people are not going to exist in a very short time.
Wow.
I didn't say everybody. Those who are aware and those who are knowing how to live on the event horizon, you can smell it. You can taste it before it happens. You have to get deep into your gut feeling. And to get deep into your gut feeling, you're going to need what? Your gut to be online. Now, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm doing a free webinar tomorrow, a free webcast. Go to elevationtime.com.
Oh, yeah.
Elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com.
Oh, yeah.
Go there and go to events. And you'll see that I'm doing a free webcast tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time called It's Time. And I'm going to drop the other piece that we're not covering here because the time space is not, this timeline is, a little different. So tomorrow at 11 a.m., go sign up for the free webcast called It's Time. And I'm going to get deeper into pieces of what we're going to cover in the GodPower event and realize that if you have parasites, mental parasites are ideas from the past that are eating you alive. They're devouring you. Feelings and experiences from the past that are living in your present mind, eating you alive. Those are mental parasites. Spiritual parasites. I've got this thing that I take. Somebody said, well, Dr. B, what about the spiritual parasites? What do you do about that? I have this product called Dr. B's Master. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see it. Does this new camera focus well? I got a new camera. This is Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve. See, I take this and it creates a bubble, a seal around my auric field. It's on the website, elevationtime.com. Dr. B Sirius Master Reserve Tonic. I've been using this for years, and it's made out of all these different tree resins. And these tree resins actually send an electrical impulse to your auric field, your magnetosphere, so that stuff that's not for you bounces off. It creates what's called displacement. Displacement is when you have a barrier between you and the outside world. Displacement causes spiritual protection. See, some people say, well, what do you do about for spiritual protection? You've got to be able to, you've got to work on your energetic immune system. I use this Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve. We actually have a limited supply on the website right now. I only make a certain amount of it because it takes years to develop this. You just can't boil some herbs and make this. So that's on the website right now at elevationtime.com. Dr. B Sirius Master Tonic Reserve to help to protect your auric field and your spiritual self, your spiritual body. So, check that out. Also, make sure, this time of year, you need focus because there's so much mass distraction. I mean, All Hallows Eve and all that stuff is happening big time. The holiday season, the season that might make some of y'all make you want to holler, is happening now. It's in the stores. They got the candy out and the candy's shutting folks down. You got to stay focused. So I take focus so that I stay on my path. Because when you get on a good path, on the right path, you want to stay on it. Sometimes you can jump a timeline to a disagreeable timeline too. You can easily jump to a disagreeable timeline by hanging out with folks and having conversations with folks and viewing things that are going downwards. Like it's going to hell in a handbasket, they used to say. You've got to see upward. You've got to see yourself ascending. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit about the time that we're in and what we can do to get ready to assume the position to accept the GodPower frequency. There's a reason that we're doing it on October 29th. It's just not a date that just popped up. It's not just happenstance that Billy Carson, I think he's on the way back now, is coming from the Giza Plateau to this event. Can you imagine what he's about to drop? It don't make any difference what that description says on the website at Eventbrite. What is about to happen is on a whole nother level. I can look in the man's eyes. I can look in the man's eyes and tell that them folks, he's not even saying as much as he normally says. He's got this look.
Got that. He got that.
Because he won't say it, but he is, he is Toth. I'm talking about, he keeps talking about Toth with a spaceship under the Sphinx. That's who he is. Maybe I shouldn't have told y'all that, maybe, But so a lot of us are ancient beings that came back again to do this again. A lot of us. Some of you who don't think you're anybody is actually a whole lot of somebody. You see? Now you start taking that platinum. Where your platinum at, brother? You got your platinum right there?
Yeah. Got it right here.
I got to teach my new camera to focus. It ain't focusing right on everything. Look at that. That thing, they sold me that thing and said it was on sale. It was the best camera in the world. Anyway, this is the Platinum Life Elixir. And it is a group of what they call M-state elements. M-state elements, monoatomic gold, monoatomic platinum, palladium, iridium, and copper. Monoatomic means that they exist in two places at one time. They're in a high spin state. This is what a monoatomic element is. They're very rare. So real quick, when you take your gold, let's say you get an ounce of gold and you take it to the place where they're going to smelt it down and make a gold brick. 10% of it disappears. I don't know if you knew this. You take your gold to the place where they're going to make it into bricks or whatever. 10% of it disappears. And there's always this white powder left. So this one man, he wanted to know what the white powder was and where was the rest of his gold. They said, well, when you do this, you're going to you're going to lose 10% of the gold in the process. And he said, well, gather all that white powder up. I want my white powder too. So they gave him the white powder. And he noticed that the white powder was very light. And it was in a bag. And he dropped the bag, and the bag fell extra slow to the ground. He was like, what is this stuff? So he took it to the lab, and they said, we don't know what it is. And he took it to these other scientists and different people around the world. They said, we don't know. But it is known to the world that this powder, right, is something mystical.
Oh, yeah.
Some people call it the what is it? The what is it? They don't know what it is. They see symbols of it in Egypt. It's like a very thin, it's like a really tall pyramid that they're giving to Anubis, or they're giving to the gods. This is the what is it? This is the gold, the monoatomic gold, right? So what I realized was that these monoatomic elements, when they're in a group or a family, they feed your spirit and your soul, and they turn your pineal all the way on, and they begin to help push out the heavy metals. That's the platinum. They actually turn on some of the GodPower particles that are already in you. That's what the platinum life elixir is all about. That's why Dick Gregory loved this one. This is why it's called the Gregory Reserve. But these things are things that we can use at this time. And I'm not saying that these are the only things. There's all kinds of things out there that you can be using right now. Use everything you can, everything that you can find to help ground you and feed you so that you can obtain the frequency that's coming from the cosmos right now. You see, so at one point, we were teachers, we were preachers, then we became teachers. Right now, we have to be reachers. It's about reaching into yourself, into the deep program that's already in all of us. It's already there. And the only thing that we're saying is that we are offering a class, a workshop, a course to help put people back on track. If you allow, and if you do the things, because we're actually going to be teaching you techniques and not just preaching to you, we're going to give you the blueprint. And I would just like to thank, you, Brother Rich, for coming up with this. This is about one of the greatest opportunities I've seen, and one of the greatest things that I've been involved with over my many years of doing, what I do. And I realize how deep this is because the calls that are coming in and the people are talking about what changes are happening in them as soon as they sign up. As soon as you sign up, something starts happening because you already told your mitochondria and your gut and your solar plexus that I am what letting and allowing the blueprint in me to turn on just by getting the ticket.
Right.
And the folks that took GodPower 1, they know. And some of you have not been practicing, so get back to doing those exercises because there's going to be some more exercises that we're going to teach in this particular version of getting you in a whole brain state. The whole thing is about getting you back to what's called a whole brain state. This is when your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are aligned. This is when your left brain and your right brain, your forebrain, your back brain, all the different chakras come online. Every part of you comes online when you're in a whole brain state. What is that? We break that down in the blueprint for GodPower. We have it. We just now need the blueprint to help us tap into it. So thank you very much, brother, for what you're doing and your family. Thank your wife, your child, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, everybody. Be thankful for where you are and be grateful in advance for what is coming because it is time to rise. You have to get on the train and allow yourself to be magnetic. Allow yourself to only desirable things to come to your life now, and do what? Help others do the same. Give, but put you first. Put that oxygen mask on yourself first. None of us are perfect. None of us have all the answers. The answers are in ourselves, but they got to come online because some of them have been latent. Brother Rich, black to you.
Man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I think we're about to wrap it up. Oh man, what a wonderful show. Powerful show, energy packed show. Shout out to the sister earlier, Kingdom. I believe at the Kingdom Child. I forgot exactly what her name on YouTube was. Shout out to her and everybody else who contributed tonight. If you bought your tickets tonight, family, I will send you the blueprint for GodPower bonus content, the 7 sacred prayers. So look forward to that. The workshop is on the 29th, family. I would love to see. Where's this at? Yeah, I would love to see all of y'all there. For those of you who can make it. For those of you who ask about, you don't need GodPower 1 to get GodPower 2, but for those who want to get GodPower 1, it's on my self website and Dr. B. My website is blackmagicuniversity.com. Dr. B, what's your website?
Elevationtime.com. That's elevationtime.com. TIME, elevationtime.com. Free webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. Elevationtime.com. Go to events and sign up for the It's Time webinar. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to about 3. It's going to be full of information. We're going to talk a lot about those parasites and how to get rid of those parasites. Because if you got them, they will eat your ideas alive.
Yeah, so make sure y'all join Dr. B free webinar tomorrow. And like I said, thank you for everybody who signed up tonight. Yeah, shout out to the sister right there, Kingdom. For those of you who was here in the first 30 minutes of the show, y'all know who this sister is right here, Kingdom Child Moments. Yeah, definitely appreciate you for participating and being transparent and being honest with your comment. And we're here to help. We're not here to talk over somebody, but we're here to help. We're here to help each other. With that being said, family, something else I want to say. I guess I'll wait till my next show. Well, let me say it now, since it's 2,200 people. Next Thursday, I'm gonna have this is GodPower Month. Next Thursday on my channel, I'm going to do a live online vendor. I'm gonna have like a live online vendor market, and I'm inviting entrepreneurs from all over the world to contact me. And I'm going to be displaying products and services from people all over the world to the people. And this just doesn't have to be like I get people from all over the world that watch my show. It doesn't have to just be black people. If you have, I know some amazing people on Instagram, white folks that got some amazing products that they sell. Well, one gentleman, I got to reach out to him, Creation Farms, I think his name is. His Instagram name is, I think it's that, I'm not sure. But if you have an amazing product or service, next Thursday, you're going to have the opportunity to present it to the world and display it to the world. So I'm going to put my email for everybody with a product, a good product or service. Email me, richardmerritt@yahoo.com. There's going to be a select amount. Obviously, I can't have too many people on the show at one time, but I'm going to, promote y'all to the world. So, yeah, hit me up, richardmerritt@yahoo.com. Somebody said, are you not going to answer any super chats?
You might as well get a couple, man.
Yeah, we're so pressed on time tonight, but yeah, I guess I have to. Y'all, I appreciate your support. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let me see. Well, let me see if Matt. Okay. All right, I see you as Matthew. Matthew, I think is from what's that? Euro. I think you're from Europe or something. Let me answer your question. Let me ask you a question, Matthew. Have my tickets, and I am there. Allowing, and receiving. A few months ago, it was spoken of a special vibrational song that Dr. B was taught that he couldn't share for years until now. Will that be in GodPower 2?
I will use pieces of songs, pieces of rhythms and frequencies that I couldn't share till now. When you listen to the immersive sound bath that you're going to get with GodPower, there's something that I'm playing. There's a rhythm that I'm playing that I was taught many, many years ago. That's a piece of the things that I was talking about when I said I couldn't share these rhythms. Also, at the same time, the songs that I'm creating, there's 3 songs that I'm working on right now, which will be part of the soundtrack for GodPower. They all have these sacred, secret rhythms and sounds and tones and frequencies built into them. And all of them will be tuned to either 432 or 528, which are the God frequencies, the earth frequencies, the resonance of the cosmos. And I shouldn't say they're the only ones. There's a piece of them, but they're part of the solfeggio. And I will be sharing sound vibrations that I was only able to share now in this particular event. So when you sign up, you will not get these songs until the event. But you could have them playing in the background. I may even actually play 1 or 2 while I'm speaking. And Billy and brother Rich, we're all creating these sounds because a lot of what we're going to be doing in Blueprint for GodPower 2 is going to be vibrational. It's going to be about music and the sound and the tone and the language of GodPower. So yes, I will be sharing some of in the event.
Man, we got a lot of tickets, y'all. Man, y'all can't see because I got the thing. We got a lot of people who bought tickets tonight. Oh man, shout out to everybody. Yeah, we got a lot of people who signed up, Doc. They like this one. We got a lot of people who signed up tonight. Shout out to everybody who signed up tonight. I really appreciate y'all coming on board. I really want everybody, just like the sister earlier, I really want everybody to really get this and really understand what's going on. And as I continue to get and understand what's going on and grow, I've been in this thing for a long time, and I'm glad to be at this point in my life. I'm at the point in my life. I was saying this the other day. I'm at the point in my life, family, where I'm living inside of my dreams. The things I used to dream about, I'm like living inside of them. Like there was nights when I used to just dream. I'm not going to say because dreams are personal and certain things you want, but there's things I used to just ask for years. And when you finally get it, you don't even realize it, that you used to literally dream about it and you take it for granted. And you got to really just think like, yo, I used to dream about this shit. There's a lot of things that I'm living right now, y'all. I used to dream about it for years and years and years. It just took time, patience, and it came at the right time. It came at a time where I can appreciate it. So this is some beautiful stuff. Let me get to the next question. Somebody said, when is the deadline to purchase? The day of the event is the deadline to purchase. You don't want to be last though, because you just don't want things to. Yeah, I mean, if you got to wait to the last minute, you got to wait to the last minute. But my advice is to get it as soon as possible, so you can get your prayers as soon as possible, and your ticket could be in line as soon as possible. But you got the day to the event.
Can I say something really quick?
Everybody who buys you're definitely gonna get in there. Go ahead, Dr. B.
Excuse me. Notice the question. When is the deadline to purchase?
Oh man. Oh, you notice everything, brother.
The deadline. Where'd you get that? Where do we get that way of speaking?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we call it lifeline? It changes everything. Your language is going to be your liberator or your lockdown. Let's try replacing deadline with lifeline. People will talk about, oh man, we're winning, so we're killing it. Why we got to use the language of death and destruction? Man, we're kicking ass. Why do we use this? Because this was given to us. And we allowed ourselves to be given a dead language. A language of death and destruction. So let's look at words and language. Oh my God, that cake is to die for. Cancel, cut, and eat. You don't realize that you eat enough of that cake, it will die for you. You will die for it. Because the language is creating our world. In the beginning, there was the word. And the word was made sound. Life and death is in the tongue.
Indeed.
So there's a lifeline, y'all.
Lifeline, not deadline, lifeline. When is the lifeline to I like that much better, y'all. That sounds so much better. That feel better. When is the lifeline to purchase? Oh man. We learning, y'all. Dr. B giving us that work. He ain't playing. Let me get to the next super chat question. This is I heard you say once that the clouds are alive. I've seen odd shapes and behaviors. Are clouds able to communicate? Are we able to manifest messages in the clouds?
You know, I knew this was coming back. That shows ago. I knew. I said, somebody's going to say so. I knew. I said, somebody's going to snatch that one. Thank you very much. The clouds are living beings. That's water vapor. Water is alive. Water is living crystals, right? And it is responding to you. There's a special message being communicated from the clouds to you. You could think about something, have a question, and just go look at the clouds. And you'll start seeing animals and shapes and things, right? And it's interesting because they're never the shapes of buildings. They're never shapes of computers. They're always the shapes of things from nature. They're flowers, they're plants, they're animals. So those shapes are giving you a message. And sometimes they're not animals. It's just a feeling that you get from the water vapor that's connecting to the water vapor, the 7 oceans inside you. There are beings called the vapor beings. There's different types of beings. There's beings that just live in vapor. There's beings that just live in a gas state. There's beings called the noble gases. You know those the on the what do they call it? The chart. My mind is fried now. It's almost time to hang up.
What the
periodic table? You've got the on the right side. You've got the noble gases. Do you know those are beings? They're beings. Each one of the elements is a being. There's the elementals. They're beings. They're actually alive. Everything is alive. Everything has life. Everything. So yes, the clouds are communicating with us. We're communicating with them, and you are the clouds. You're asking a question to the environment, and the environment will send you a message back. You could ask a question. You could be in a store and ask a question of yourself. Well, yeah, I need to know how to blah, 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 blah. And you could hear somebody 3 rows away say something that answers your question. Once you're totally aware. You may be driving along in the car and then, have a question or a comment or a thought and see a billboard with the answer on it. Because the world is your world.
It's not the world, it's your world.
It's not the world, it's your world. And what you're seeing and hearing and feeling and existing in is only yours. Do you know that nobody has the same experience? And when somebody tells you, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I had the same thing happen to me. That's not true. That's not an actual fact. You may have something similar, but we're all having a unique experience because we're all different rays of light and energies and entities from space. Some people say, well, there's aliens. Yes, you are an alien. You're not of the earth. You're a traveler. You came here on a beam of light. You're a spaceship. This is an avatar, a space vehicle, what y'all call it, rover. You're just down here as you're gathering information to learn what it is to have this experience as God. You are one part of God, but you are a universe too. And inside of your universe, there's another universe and another universe and another universe all within us. We're universal beings. So once you tap into your universal God and get out of the God of religion and the God of belief and the one that needs you to follow him, even some of these conscious, what we call conscious belief systems, they were cool for a minute. They got us to a certain point. They're schools. But you're moving to a point where you're going to realize it was all about you and who you are and how to use everything that you have. I'm going to get back into that a little bit more tomorrow because, it's 11 hours away. 11 hours away, I'll be back online right here, doing that free webcast. So, join us if you can and tell your friends. And we, at this time, I'm going to give you a piece and then we're going to go, unless you had another question. We are not separate from GodPower. We are the GodPower. It's called soul. Universe soul. And the solar plexus comes online in October. That's why the leaves turn yellow and orange, because they are part of your world and letting you know which chakras, which energy centers to focus on.
Doc, man, you say, come on, man. I thought I heard you say everything, man. Then you come with some new shit, man. Woo, okay. That's why they turn that color, huh?
It's you. You think everybody sees that color?
Wow.
That's for you.
Wow.
And you might notice more yellow trees than the orange ones, or more purple ones. That's because that's a message for you.
For you. That's a personal message for you.
That your eyes are sending out a message. Your eyes are sending out a message looking for something that it recognizes. Your ears are sending out a frequency. You think you just are absorbing. No, your ears are sending out a frequency.
But this is
and it returns 1,000-fold. You're returning to forever. Your skin is feeling your hair. Oh, the technology of the hair is so deep.
It's deep. Yeah.
It's sending out a frequency. And it responds to you uniquely based on what you are fascinated about, or what you're questioning, or what your experience is, or what you expect. To change your life, you got to change your expectations. Expect the best. Expect the best out of GodPower too, and you'll get it.
And you'll get it.
If you come in with doubt, oh, well, I don't know, and how? Well, don't come. Don't. It's okay. You don't. We're not saying you have to be here. Be when you think that you can get it all on YouTube, get it on YouTube. Some people are so used to getting stuff for free, they don't want to invest until we say there's a pot of gold somewhere. Pot of gold. All you got to do is get your coupon. Everybody got a coupon. They can afford right now. So it's all about what you invest your time in, and what you're fascinated about is what you become. You got another question, or are we?
Man, you got us in the zone. You got us in theta mode, man. I'm trying to come up with a question, but you got us all in hypnotic theta mode, man. I'm like a zombie listener. Not a zombie, but I'm just mesmerized by what you're saying, Doc. Wow, man. It's some good stuff, man. It's some good stuff.
I'm just here to help people make love out of the things that are not love.
Indeed.
That's alchemy.
I think we're gonna let me see. I think we're about to wrap it up.
Take a little more platinum while you're waiting.
All right. Yeah. Once again, family, if you didn't get your prayers yet and you bought a ticket, just email me, richardmerritt@yahoo.com, and I'll look into it tonight. For everybody who bought tickets, a lot of people bought tickets tonight. I'm gonna send it out. The 7 sacred prayers. I see one person emailed me about the marketplace next Thursday. Once again, that's all entrepreneurs. You can reach out to me. I'm going to do a show where I display Black products and services next Thursday. So if you have a product or service, and I'll make more announcements, but email me. Besides that, family, oh man, I got to absorb all this and dissect it and just enjoy it internally. This is Brother Rich, Black Magic, with Dr. B, Elevation Time, blooper for GodPower 2. You see what it is behind me. It's happening October 29th. Get your ticket. Put the link one more time in the chat. It's also pinned at the top of the chat. It's also in the description. I would love to see all of y'all there. October 29th is going down. With that being said, we signing out, family. Thanks for tuning in tonight. What an amazing, great show. Thank you, family. Peace and good night.
Much love. Travel light.